right, so step one. Admitted we were powerless over alcohol, over our addiction, and our lives had become unmanageable. Now that is a difficult step sometimes. All that step is saying is that I need help. All it's admitting is that I'm powerless over my problems, over my situation, over my addiction, over alcohol. I cannot stop screwing up my life over and over and over again. Every time we pick up anything, it just seems that it just ends up badly. No matter how much times that we try to control it. You know, there's this thing in the big book and it talks about ad infinitum. The great obsession of every abnormal drinker or user is that somehow, someday, I will control and enjoy my drinking, my using, my smoking. I'm gonna figure it out. And my mind will always come up with 1,000 reasons on how I'm gonna be able to figure this stuff out. The ad infinitum thing in chapter 3 of the big book, it says ad infinitum. Switching from scotch to brandy, agreeing to resign if ever drunk on the job, taking a trip, not taking a trip, swearing off forever with and without a solemn oath, increasing more physical exercises, reading inspirational books, going to health farms and sanitariums. We can increase this list ad infinitum. That means that my mind is always going to contemplate some way, somehow, I'm gonna be able to figure this out. I'm gonna be able to have a beer during the Super Bowl, and it just seems so, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it just seems so pathetic. If I was to tell you, look it, I am so weak that I can't handle an 80-calorie Coors Light. Nope, I'm too weak, can't handle it. I'm gonna screw my whole life up if I do that. What? It's an 80-calorie Coors Light, it's one. Or, yeah, that joint that's going around, yeah, you know what? I can't take a hit. If I take a hit, I'm gonna destroy my whole entire life. Mind-boggling that if the most important thing that I possess today is my sobriety date, January 2nd, 2012. I have a sobriety date, and since that date, I haven't smoked a joint, drank a beer, done a little squirt, and I've taken nothing in almost 12 years now, nothing. Because the deal is, without that sobriety date, and if I was coming and talking to you guys, I would be a liar. I would be full of shit. And it says that you can't transmit something you haven't got. I wouldn't be the man I am today if a little ways down the road, I drank a beer on one magical Sunday, when no one was looking, I smoked a joint, or I did a little hit off the speed pipe, or I did a little squirt of heroin, or smoked a little fentanyl. No, that means that I would have lost my sobriety date, my clean date, and without it, I will always fail. That took a long time to figure out. Is that I will always fail as soon as I take a mind-altering substance. It's the Snowball Effect. If I take a little snowflake and roll it down the hill, it will always turn into a giant snowball and destroy my life, where I will always end up in another detox. I will always end up in another program. I will always end up jails and institutions, and just I will have a horrible life. I cannot stop the train if I take that one hit, if I eat that one pill, if I do that one little shot, if I drink that one beer. It will always end in failure. And it took me many years to figure out that once I do that, I'm powerless. Sometimes I thought I was regaining control. Sometimes I thought, look, I'm working, I'm going, I'm working now, I'm paying bills, I'm drinking on the weekends, I'm not doing hard drugs, I'm smoking a little weed, I'm going back to school, and I'm partying here and there. And I think to myself that I'm regaining control. But inevitably, it always ended in detox or rehab or the biggest disappointment in my family's life or abandoning my children. It always ended in that. So that's my example. Step one is just admitting defeat, surrender. And that's not always an easy pill to swallow. Is surrender, giving up. That's hard, very hard. I mean, how does this sound, you guys? Hey, you guys, my name's Danny, and check this out. I am so weak that I will always need to run my ideas by somebody else. I am so pathetic that I can't think for myself right now, and I need to run everything by a mentor or a sponsor. I need to run my stuff by a group of people to make sure that my ideas are good. Yeah, I can't do this on my own. That doesn't sound very heroic and manning up and brave, and I don't need anybody. It's the opposite. But the deal is, I could not stop screwing myself. If you're in a rehab or a treatment center right now, or you're just trying to make sense of this stuff, you know what today is? Today is the sum result of your entire life's work. Today. 1 day plus 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 1 day equals today. Every book that you ever read, everything that you learned about people, places, things, situations, circumstance, every bit of knowledge that you achieved through all your years of existence, from a little kid going to school, learning things on the street, learning things from jobs and companies and people and places, every bit of knowledge that you got, you put it to life, and the sum result equals today. How you doing? This is your life's work. And some of you, don't get this screwed up. Some of you might be thinking, well, I still have a house, I still have a home, I still have a business, I still have all these things, and I still take care of my family. And, you might have a whole lot of stuff, but the main thing that you wanted in your entire life is happiness, joy, peace, serenity, purpose. So you might have a lot of stuff, but are you super happy with who you are and what you got? Because I know what you want. Like, I could ask this question, what do you want out of life? Everyone watching this, what do you want? That's a very easy question because I know the answer. You want happiness, you want joy, you want to be loved, you want to be appreciated, you want to be respected, you want to have purpose, you want to have drive, you want to feel good about the person you are, the life you have, and the world you live in. You want to wake up every day saying, what is today? Tuesday? Today I'm going to kill it. Hell yeah, that's what you want. You got it right now? Now here's another crazy question. It's a hard one. Do you think you've done the best you could with your life? That's a hard question, because here's the deal. Everyone says, no, I could have done better. I could have went to school. I could have not picked up that joint. I could have not yelled at my family. I could have stayed home. I could have done all these things instead of doing what I was doing. I have lots of potential. I should have just used my potential and not take that ride. But here's the truth. This is the best you can do. Right now. This is the best you can do. Like, no. Because if you could have done better, you would have. But then it's like when you were going down the street and you could have made a left or a right. Easy. Make a right or make a left. Super easy. Well, you made the left. If you could have made the right, you would have made the right. But you went left. That was the best you could do with the tools that you got and the person that you are. You went left. You got in that car. You ate those pills. You shot that heroin. You smoked that speed. You drank all day. You abandoned your kids. You freaking did all this stuff. And I know that's hard to hear. But everyone's doing the best they can with the tools they got. And the tools that I had screwed me. I didn't want it to screw me. I didn't want to be a giant failure getting out of prison at 42 years old, the biggest disappointment in my family's life. I didn't want that. This is the best that you can do. You've been trying. We've been trying. That's a hard pill to swallow. But the good news is this. You can do way better if we can change. Einstein has this quote. He says, you cannot solve the problem on the same level of consciousness that created it. One more time. Einstein, pretty smart dude, kinda, a lot. You cannot solve the problem on the same level of consciousness that created it. So that's saying my level of consciousness walking into detox, trying to fix my life, that level of consciousness, I am receiving all the gifts of that level of consciousness, and that level of consciousness, the gifts are failure, disappointment, shame, guilt, misery, pain, hostility, fear, frustration. These are the gifts of that level of consciousness. And for some reason, I'm going to ask that same level of consciousness that has this, I have this shit factory inside of me, and it keeps producing poop. It keeps producing poop over and over. I don't want it to. I want it to produce something great, but it keeps producing disappointment. And all of a sudden, I'm going to pause for a minute. Now produce diamonds. It's not gonna produce diamonds. So surrender says, I will, and it's hard again, and I had to go through this. When I surrendered, I told my sponsor, hey, bro, you know, I've been trying my whole life to find some happiness. I just wanted to be all right, to be cool. And I'm never gonna be able to find it. So whatever you want me to do, you want me to sell flowers on the side of the freeway? You want me to bounce up and down on my head? You want me to chant? I mean, I don't know anymore. But you seem to be pretty happy. I've known you for a while, and if you're willing to sponsor me, I'll do whatever you ask me to do, even if I don't agree with it, because you can do better with my life than I can. That was my surrender. I found some happy people that ruined their lives like me, that were broken, lost, confused, failures, like I was. And now I see them having babies, going to baby showers. I see them having beautiful homes. I see them going to work. I see them showing up and giving back. I see them doing these things that are great, and they're happy. And the thing that they had in common is they worked this program, this 12-step program, not their own program. They work a program that I could clearly see finally that it changed their hearts. But it came through surrender. All step one is saying, I can't stop screwing myself. I've tried. I'm willing to get some help. Whatever you want me to do, I'm down to do. And it's hard because the greatest character defect is pride. Because it's saying, I'm so stupid, I'm so dumb, I'm such an idiot that I can't use my intelligent brain to figure out my life. I gotta be a pathetic moron. That's what the brain would tell me. And that was a hard pill to swallow. All it's saying is I'm broken. And with my broken brain, my broken brain and my broken feelings, I can't fix my life. But I see that you have fixed yours, so I'm down to do whatever the heck you're doing. Like whatever you're doing, this broken thing don't look like that's gonna work, but I'm gonna give it my college try. And he had asked me, are you willing to do whatever it takes? I told him, yeah. And I didn't agree with a lot of it. The higher power, the freaking knees, the weird, writing down every single person that ever hurt me. I didn't see how that was gonna make me happy. But I did it anyway. So step one is you gotta be convinced. This is hard. This is difficult. You gotta be convinced. Without help, you will always screw yourself. That's so difficult. Without help, you will always screw yourself. And that's hard, man. So you gotta be convinced that you need help. And one definition, humility, there's a fine line between humility and humiliation. Humility is just being humble, and the definition is being teachable. Humility is just being teachable. Humiliation sometimes in those learning lessons, like, being called like sensitive and being called like all these, the facts of my life. I've been a giant jackass, and having to hear that from people and how selfish I've been and all, that's hard. It felt like humiliation. But you know what really is humiliation? Being a 42-year-old man with nothing, not even a bicycle, walking into a detox, asking my mom to please send me a couple dollars. That's what's really screwed up. So finally I had to surrender and be teachable. That's all step one is. Waving the white flag, I give up. Whatever you want me to do, you're some happy people. Whatever you want me to do, I'm down to do it. But again, some of us have to go out 1,000,000 times to figure out that we're not gonna figure it out. We give up our sobriety dates and we go back out there trying to just get the job, trying to just smoke weed, trying to have a beer, trying to fucking pull it together, trying to freaking stop obsessing about the problem. And we gotta smash our faces 1,000 times. Hopefully not. Hopefully you're convinced right now. Hopefully you've had enough of your own insanity to be able to be finally able to be willing to do something that's not your ideas. This program wasn't my ideas. I tried all of them. Didn't work. And your life's unmanageable. Boom! Obviously it is. You're in rehab. You're screwed up inside. That's unmanageable. You want happiness, you're trying to manage happiness, and it keeps ending in pain and misery and suffering and failure. Bam! That is not manageable. If it was manageable, you'd be able to do some things and find some greatness out of this place called life. So, I think I've covered step one. And the last thing on step one is this. Surrender is not just utter rugged defeat and the worst thing ever. No, it's giving up this level of consciousness and joining the winning side to where you could have a better consciousness, a higher consciousness. And once that consciousness, your insides rise with the help of other people that are rising together, then you will be able to solve the problem because you will no longer be operating on the same level of consciousness that created all those problems. We grow and thrive when we do this thing together. No man is an island. No woman is an island. We need each other. Super important. Anyway, that's it for step one. I hope that makes sense. Have a great day, and we'll see you on step two.